of year we're starting to look at our lawn and see some spots, or maybe we want to redo our lawn completely. Joining me today is Justin Moss, our Turfgrass Extension Specialist, and we're going to look at the pros and cons of seed versus sod and how to choose which type to start our lawn. So we have a couple of different things here. We've got some seed, but first, what do we need to look at on our yard?
So first of all, we want to figure out what type of grass we have in the yard. And many times in Oklahoma, it's going to be Bermuda grass, maybe some tall fescue in some shady areas and things like that. A little bit of zoysia and buffalo grass out there, but I would say 90% of the time we're dealing with Bermuda grass.
Okay, and so if we have Bermuda grass, how do we decide whether to put seed down or to put sod down? Are there certain site specifications we need to look at?
Sure, sometimes it's just it's up to the user and what they want to use. And so if you look at cost, sometimes the seed can be cheaper initially to install and the sod's a little bit more expensive to install. However, with the seed, there's going to be some maintenance involved where you've got to water it and fertilize it and get it to grow in. With the sod, it's more like an instant lawn.
Okay.
And then you have to think about what type of area are we dealing with. Is it a flat area? It's really easy to do seed or sod. If we have a sloped area, we have to be careful about how we do that. We can still seed or sod it, but sometimes sodding is a little bit easier on the slopes just because you can get that instant cover, and you can even stake it down with some sod staples and hold it in place. Whereas with seed, you can still put it down, maybe mulch it, or put some seed cover cloth over it. But if you get a heavy rain, that seed's just going to wash away. Okay.
And also the time of year, that can play into whether seed or sod, right?
For sure. So with Bermuda grass in Oklahoma, the prime time of the year is going to be in the springtime. So say May or June, something like that. You can actually still seed or sod during July or even into August. Now, once you start getting into late July into August, if you could sod it, you'd be better off, because then you have something established. You still want to get some roots down, hopefully, before the freeze comes. But if you're seeding, say, July 15th or August 1st, you're probably not going to get that up all the way before the end of the growing season. So sod would be the ideal choice the later you go. But what you'd rather do, either seeding or sodding, come out maybe May or June and get that done.
Okay, and what do we have here? We've got a couple of different seeds, and this one's kind of colorful.
That one is colorful. So that one is actually a treated seed, and it's just treated with a fungicide, and so that's what gives it the purple color. But that is Bermuda grass seed, and it's a specific cultivar called Riviera. Now, Riviera was actually developed at Oklahoma State University, and it was developed because it has good turf quality, so it looks good in the lawn, but also it has improved cold tolerance. And so Bermuda grass is a warm season grass, and for the most part can tolerate winters in Oklahoma, but maybe 3-4 out of 10 winters on some common Bermuda grasses, it's going to die out just because it can't take the cold weather. Well, with something like a Riviera, one of these improved types, they've been bred to withstand those cold temperatures. Okay. And here you see that, this one's just purple because it has fungicide. Then we have another common type of Bermuda grass here that is just brown, and that is called Wrangler Bermuda grass. And so with this particular sample, just because it's brown doesn't necessarily mean it's not treated, but sometimes if it is brown, that maybe means it's not treated. Or it could be hulled or unhulled, and basically that means it could have a cover on it, or those covers have been kind of torn off before they packaged it up for you.
Okay, and so what does that mean versus treated versus untreated regarding our seeding rate?
So we would typically seed Bermuda grass at 1 to 2 pounds of pure live seed per 1,000 square feet. And so pure live seed just simply means you look at the tag on the package that the seed comes in, and you're going to see a germination rate and you're going to see a purity rate. And if you take those two together, you'll get a pure live seed. Okay. And so if we have a treated seed, though, you may have this extra material on it, right? The fungicide or whatever. So it may weigh a little bit different. So I see you have an example for us, so maybe you can tell me what's going on here.
Yeah, so when you're dealing with untreated seed, you have about 1 pound per 1,000 square feet. So you can see these golf balls kind of represent untreated seeds. Now, if you have treated seeds, you're actually going to need to put down a heavier rate, about 2 pounds per 1,000 square feet, because you don't actually get as much seed because of the inert material, the treatment, the coat. So pretend this is your seed and you've got your fungicide treatment or whatever treatment on there. You've got less seed going down per area. So you can see here you're going to need about 2 pounds per 1,000 square foot for the treated seed, such as Riviera.
That's right. So your pure live seeding rate is the same. It's just you have to weigh out more of this material because of the added fungicide and everything.
Okay, excellent. So when you're looking at seed versus sod, is there a reason that you might choose sod? I mean, is all the same grass available in both?
Yeah, so like these seeded varieties that we have here are actually sometimes not even available as a sod. And so when you purchase a Bermuda grass cultivar, let's say a seeded cultivar, what you want to do is look at the package, and there should be a blue seed tag on it. And then what that means, that blue tag means it's been certified by the local certification agency. And so if that seed is certified seed, you know that what you're buying is what you're getting. Now there's a lot of Bermuda grass seed out there that won't have tags on it, and it may say VNS, or it may say common Bermuda grass, or it may say other things. It may even say U3 Bermuda grass. But if it doesn't have the blue tag on it, really you don't know what you're getting.
Okay.
And so our recommendation is to use certified seed. And what that can do is it can help you to get kind of these unique traits that maybe the grasses have been bred for. So even if you have a common Bermuda grass lawn, you can come in with like a Riviera, and you don't have to seed your whole lawn, but you just have some bare spots or maybe some weak areas. You can do what's called interseeding and just kind of put it in there. Even though you've already got some grass cover there, you interseed this improved grass, and then over time it will kind of slowly take over. And you can even do that once a summer as you get bare spots to fill it in.
So if you mix it, the consistency and the color and the texture will be consistent throughout your lawn, but you're also saving money actually, because to do a whole lawn in a premium Bermuda grass might be a little bit expensive.
Yeah, it could be expensive, and if you were going to do it right, you need to really go kill out your whole lawn first. So coming in and interseeding is a way to save some money. It takes a lot longer for it to actually maybe come to this type, and there are some differences, but if you blend it, you don't see those differences as readily.
Excellent.
And now with other grasses, they only come as sod, and so what we're dealing with is like a common Bermuda grass or Cynodon dactylon. You can get seed from it. But some of our hybrids are interspecific hybrids. I mean, they're hybrids between common Bermuda grass and African Bermuda grass. You put those two together, you get what's called a sterile triploid hybrid. And what that basically means is those grasses actually don't produce viable seed. So the only way you can propagate those is through sod or sprigs, something like that. And so with those types, you can only get sod. So you really have to do some study and maybe talk to your extension educator about, okay, which type is for me, and does that come as a seed or a sod? It takes a little bit of investigation, and it's good because that way you can't be tricked. And somebody's trying to sell you a certain type of grass seed, and you know, well, hey, that plant doesn't produce seed. What are you trying to do to me here?
Right.
And it can try to save you some money and save you some headaches down the road.
That's a good tip, and you will immediately know whether you need to do seed or sod potentially.
That's right.
Based on which type. Okay, one last thing I want to ask about irrigation. How long does it take to establish seed versus sod?
Yeah, so the seeding can take 30 days to really get a decent cover. And so during that 30 days, you're going to have to water daily basis, and at the very beginning, maybe even 2 or 3 times a day. Let's say you seed it May 15th and you put some irrigation down and get some rains. It's not as hard to get going, and you don't have to irrigate as much. But let's say you seed it July the 1st and high pressure set over, and it's not going to rain for 2 weeks. You're going to have to water that 2-3 times a day to keep it going. With sod, you've got a little bit more room for error because you do have a little bit of base of rhizomes and stolons in there with the Bermuda grass sod. But still, you're going to have to really baby it, so to speak, for the first week or two, and then maybe water it once a day, twice a day. And then on both of these, you can slowly back off as it starts to get established and go once a day, and then maybe once every other day, once every 4 days, once a week, and so on until you get it fully established. And really, in general, once it gets up and going, Bermuda grass can survive quite well on 3/4 to 1 inch of irrigation or rainfall per week here in Oklahoma during the growing season.
Excellent. Now we know seed versus sod.
Correct.
We hope you enjoyed this video. It's part of our Oklahoma Gardening YouTube channel. You can also find even more videos on our OK Gardening Classics YouTube channel. And join us on social media for great gardening tips, photos, and discussion.